this. So we're going to talk about the Rattler and what I think about it. First, the way that I got to the conclusions that I got to are that I've shot maybe 2,500 rounds through this thing. Most of it was Barnall steel case, 300 blackout. The rest was varying subsonic loads as I could find them. A lot of Nosler and Hornady, oddly enough. Also some shitload S&B actually. I've shot some friends Rattlers. I've shot some, like, I don't know if it was pre-production or what it was, but I had the opportunity to shoot that way back. I've shot this before you see it in its current configuration, and I've shot it as it is now a bunch. Most of the rounds are as it is now. I've shot it in the rain, snow, heat, different parts of the country. Shot it in the day, and I've shot it at night. And this is kind of what this is my unqualified opinion on the gun. I've maybe taken it up to 200 yards, not very far. But I feel like for the purposes of a 5.5 inch 300 blackout, that's more than adequate. I think I've maybe cleaned it once. I don't know. I don't recall. I've had this gun for about 3 years. 2,000 rounds in 3 years is not a lot. But I kind of go through phases with it. Not cleaning your guns is not a flex, and it's not cool. I'm just a bad person. So it's a SIG. Let's get that out of our system. Okay, are you done? Good. The MCX, which this obviously is, was essentially intended when it was designed to be a 9-inch 300 blackout. So this being a 5.5 inch gun, kind of fits its mantra. This has obviously been PDWI'd, and I'll talk about that later. But so how it comes, you get a short handguard. You get a 3-prong flash hider. Mine came with this brace that I've converted into a stock with a butt pad. Honestly, it's the same thing, and like I said, I'm poor, so I don't feel like buying the $250 other one. It's very unpleasant to shoot as it comes. I wouldn't recommend shooting it unsuppressed. I think that's pointless and childish. It's very, very concussive, and you feel it in your sinuses real good. And it's just, I shot it a bit. I did notice that when I first got it, and I did not have it set up like this, and I was shooting it unsuppressed, the charging handle would fly back sometimes and hit me in the nose with certain loads. I don't know what the hell that's all about. Kind of lame. I don't really know how you fix that. I changed the gun a bunch, and it just stopped doing it. I suspect it's because the action is so jarring, because you have that short dwell time that it needs every ounce of pressure it can get. Some of that gets transmitted into your little funny charging handle, and it hits you in the nose. I've seen that on multiple examples of these guns. It's kind of intermittent though, so kind of is what it is. The gun offers a lot for that trade-off. So mine, I have a Midwest handguard on it. I have an OSS HXQD 762 Ti, whatever, hidden under this handguard here. I've gone between the S&B triangle brace and this brace that it came with. I think this one's probably better. Now braces are stocks, so I just put a butt pad on it. And yada yada, so it's an SBR now, and cool, whatever. So I will say, I have this XC2 IRC on it. It's a center mounted IR laser and a flood only IR illuminator. I got some fucking Surefire on it. I don't know what that is, the light. But anyway, yeah, I got that. I got my irons. I haven't noticed zero shift on either. I do take this out and shoot it at night. I haven't in a minute, but I really haven't. This handguard is so tight that when I pull this pin out, I have to stomp on this hand stop here to even get the handguard to come off. I think that's where a lot of the issues lie with these not holding zero. Additionally, you got 3 screws holding this little tongue loop thing into your front receiver pin. Loctite those, crank them down, witness mark them. As long as they're not loose, this handguard's not moving. It's a silly design, but I think you can make these hold zero. I don't have any cool guy Arasaka clamps on this or anything, and it holds zero for me, knock on wood. So, you got a 5.5 inch barrel. The gas system on this, it has a plus and minus setting, suppressed, unsuppressed, adverse, normal. I don't know what they mean. I just know that when I put it on the minus setting with this low back pressure can, it doesn't function reliably on the suppressed setting. And I wouldn't expect this thing's gas block to have a very wide range of, you know, it's got kind of a narrow margin to function as is, right? 5.5 inch barrel. Here's your chamber. Here's your gas block. That's not a lot of dwell time because the muzzle's like right here by this little burn-proof thingy. So it is what it is. I'm sure if this was a higher back pressure can, like a Surefire or something, it would work. I'm a lefty, so I basically have to have this because I don't like getting gas shit in my face. So my go-to is always going to be this flow through, unless it's for vibes or something. Or it's like a bolt gun. But if it's auto loading, I get flow throughs because I'm a lefty. Receiver. It says Rattler on the upper. It says MCX on the lower. This is functionally just a Virtus. I don't have a full-size Virtus to compare it to. What I do know is that your top rail ends like 2 or 3 sections earlier, 2 or 3 slots earlier. So the handguards aren't cross-compatible without some kind of adapter. The bolt carriers might not be either. I don't really care. Ambi selector, neat. Ambi mag release, cool. I find these to be the left side ones to be really stiff when you first get them. Nobody seems to give a shit about that because they're not lefties. I do. I didn't clip the spring in this or anything. I just wore it in. It works fine for me now. I do really enjoy shooting this, full disclosure. So it's got some rounds on it. It's got a couple miles. Not really though. 2000's kind of baby dick. That War Sport has over 20. No, I'm not going to verify that for you. Yeah, so actually runs fairly clean. Again, not a high back pressure can. Like I said, I don't think that I've cleaned this. I may have wiped it down once or twice. It's really not. It's not bad. I've checked it out a couple of times just on the insides, and I'm not noticing any super violent like piston gun wear that we commonly see on AR-18 derivatives. The bolt's not radiusing itself or anything. Ooh, that's a lot of unburnt powder. So that's cool. Not getting any like undue wear on, you know, magazine release, anything like that. Bolt catch rather. None of your camming surfaces are going anywhere. It's just, it seems to be wearing quite nicely. Again, I haven't like fucking army cleaned this thing, right? But for what it's worth, for my 2 cents. You don't get a forward assist on the Rattler because it's a PDW. You have a reduced brass deflector, which is fine. This is just like a plastic piece that comes on and off. You do have this like reduced, slimmed up charging handle. I get it. Those snag-on things sort of maybe in some Redditor's mind, but it is a little bit annoying. QD cups, neat. I like those. Every gun made after 2010 should have those. People hate this grip. I don't really know why. It's pretty comfortable. The trigger, oh boy. The trigger's actually pretty awesome. It's not the fastest in the world, but the cadence that you can shoot this gun at, exactly, at least for me, exactly when it's done kind of going through its recoil cycle and the sights are floating back to the target, that's when the trigger breaks again for me. So it really is just like, I didn't replace it. I have no intention of replacing it. I replaced it on my big MCX, my Gen 1, like from 2014, and I replaced it on my Spear LT. I put Geisleys in those, but this one I'm actually pretty happy with. The whole gun just feels very floaty, and the trigger, like length of pull and weight and where it breaks and how it resets, everything feels super awesome with the cadence that I'm able to shoot this gun at. So I like that. I'm not going to change it. What did I miss on the receiver here? That's pretty much it. Everything else is self-explanatory. You have a 1913 section back here. You can put whatever stock on it you want, and I would recommend you do so. It's really not, you get these cool channels for the foot of Eb P5 dig. All right, so overall on this gun, and I would say it probably applies to the cane brake too, although that has a fatter, I would argue, worse handguard. Tucking suppressors kind of sucks. I have rail covers under this thing. I think I have some rail scales bolted on under here too. And then I have this burn-proof gear wrap. I would like to not have any of this, but unfortunately the gun gets very, 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 very hot under this handguard. This thing heats up. What is this, like a rail scales dingle dangle? I don't know what it's called, whatever. This thing gets warm. So I don't know, tucking suppressors kind of sucks. It's kind of cool though. It looks neat. It's definitely fun to shoot. You definitely get good purchase on this thing. I set this up more or less as a night gun. If I keep my round counts low on drills and stuff, and kind of just focus on hitting things up close quickly with a few rounds, it's really, it only gets kind of weird after maybe 2 magazines or something. It starts getting pretty hot. I have this EOTech on it, cool for nods, not really cool for anything else. I have it on a riser. Okay. That is what I'm forgetting. Receiver height. MCX receiver height's like your mechanical offset is higher than an AR because you have this dual recoil rod spring piston fucking system above it. So your like height over your mechanical offset is always going to be higher, and that's something I don't really like about MCXs, but you kind of just get used to it, which goes into my next thing. That always makes guns, to me, more annoying to shoot. We're just gonna let that sit there. Higher mechanical offset always makes guns more annoying to shoot around barricades and stuff. It's cool for night vision and running around and thinking your ready up times are 0.006 seconds faster or whatever, but it is annoying because if you're doing something like a 9-hole drill, you're keyholing yourself. You're like superimposing your sight's projection over a piece of wood or cover or whatever, and then you're jamming your muzzle through, and you're like, well, that should work. So that's kind of annoying sometimes. The more you rotate the rifle one way or the other, your offsets are going to be a little bit harder to overcome. Again, I built this. I didn't build it. I assembled this to be sort of like a night gun here. So that sort of was less top of my mind. I mostly just wanted it to work well with nods, which it does. Your flash signature on this is that's a weird thing to worry about. I don't really notice it shooting. I don't really notice it in any videos that I have of myself shooting. I generally shoot dirty trash ammo because I'm poor, so that's not really a factor. This can's not ideal for subsonic ammo. It does work. It is pretty quiet, but flow-through cans are never ideal for subsonic ammo, and that's something I just have to accept as a lefty. This is a heavy gun. It's a heavy gun. This thing, I've never weighed it. It probably weighs like 9 or 10 pounds. It is what it is. At least it's not a Virtus where it's long and heavy. It's just heavy. The original MCX is really light. The Spear LT is somewhere in the middle between that and the Virtus. This is a Virtus. This is heavy. It has a beefier receiver, thicker barrel. It is what it is. At least it's compact. Accuracy, I've never sat and like put match ammo in this and tried to shoot groups on paper. It's acceptable. I've never left wanting or feeling like the gun is letting me down. It's always pretty apparent to myself. I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of was just freeballing it with that thing there. That's that flash sight picture or whatever. So I would say the accuracy is more than acceptable for a 5.5-inch rifle. This is like not even a 200-yard gun in my mind. This is like 150 and in. If I'm ever thinking about a situation or a match or whatever where I want to go beyond 150, it's time to bring something that has like, you know, overlap with capabilities. So not this gun. This is more of like a PDW night whatever thing that I built for fun because I'm just a guy. Reliability, I've maybe had a couple of failures on this that were on the suppressed setting. I can't really think of any actual real life failures this gun has had throughout its tenure in my hands. I have no concerns there, and I don't have any reservations about MCX reliability as a whole. Zero shift. I haven't noticed any, like I said. I haven't confirmed the zero on these irons in a long time because I'm a bad person, but I haven't noticed any. Anyway, it has the AR-18 recoil impulse. It's a little more like, whereas an AR is like, so you feel it. It's definitely different. It's new. It's not bad though. Overall, well put together gun. I like it. I'm not going to try to sell you a gun because I don't care what you buy. But if you're thinking about one of these, I don't know. Take this for whatever it's worth, which is nothing.